Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Now, in today's episode, we take your guys' viewer questions if I can grab them there. We get them, we write them down, and I come right on here and start answering questions. I do not prepare. I go right off the cuff. That way you guys know it's real stuff that comes out of my mouth. Literally as honest as I can be about everything, mainly because I don't want to give you guys a false representation of the antique business. So I have my wife write the questions down. She says we got 5 questions. Awesome, write them down. I come on here, we do them. That's how we like to do it, just because we don't want to give prepared answers. I want time to think about it, because I know I have a lot of information in my brain, and the faster it gets out to you guys, the better. And I think it's the most authentic as well. Obviously, it's a beautiful Sunday here in Michigan. We actually finally broke the heat wave. So I am downstairs in our basement relaxing, got all the great stuff down here and all the nostalgia that just gives me the warm feels inside. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Mike. I own 66 Unique Antiques. We've been in business for over 10 years. Let's get to this Q&A. So the first question comes from Eagle Rider. Shout out, dude. Always comments on my videos all the time. Much appreciated. Hope everything's going great for you. He wants to know how inflation and the current economy has affected my business. Well, without getting into politics, because that is something we just don't like to touch on, just because it's such a touchy subject with everybody. The inflation part of it, the recession part of it, whatever you want to call it, I feel like our business to a certain extent is recession, inflation, high price proof. Now, let me explain why I say that. Now, when we go through these businesses and people don't have money, so if you don't have money, you're not going off and spending money on high-end stuff or all this extra money on brand new stuff. Usually you're going secondhand. Now, antique stores are all secondhand. So usually at the most time, now higher-end antique stores probably not, but at least at our store, because that's all I can speak on, is you're going to get stuff at a cheaper price. You're going to get gifts at a cheaper price. They're going to be more unique than anywhere else you're going to go. So when money's tight, I feel like antique stores are going to get the extra bump in sales, because of the fact people don't have as much money to spend. And when you go into antique stores, you're not just buying antiques to collect. A lot of times you're buying stuff, useful stuff like Pyrex, dish sets, gifts, toys, anything like that. Now, if you're going to go to a Walmart or a Myers, you're going to pay full retail. Most of the time at antique stores, you don't have to pay full retail. So I think that's a big thing too. Now, when I say we're recession proof, I also think when people have extra money, where do they go? They go to buy the extra wants that they have, which are usually found at the, antique stores. You're going to find, again, more unique stuff, more authentic stuff, better lasting things. So, I think a lot of it, when I say we're recession proof and inflation proof, it really hasn't affected our business at all. Honestly, we've done, our business has gone up the past 4 years. And I think that's a lot to do with mainly the fact that people shying away from the retail stores and trying to support mom and pop shops. After the pandemic, I think people found out real quick that mom and pop shops are very important to the economy, and they're very important to our society. Supporting each other, not supporting big corporations making billions of dollars, supporting the mom and pop shops that are, just trying to feed their families and, send their kids to school with nice clothes and whatnot. So yeah, it hasn't affected our business at all, Eager Rider, at all. We have done nothing but great business, and I credit that to our vendors. I credit that to our amazing customer base. They've supported us through everything, through the pandemic, through us opening, over 10 years. It's been amazing, our customer base. So yeah, it hasn't affected us all, honestly. The only time I would guess I could see it affecting us is if we go into a massive depression where nobody has money and nobody has jobs and nobody has a form of income coming in, I guess. But so far, it's been great for us. So I can't really say too much on the fact that it's affected us poorly. It's affected us pretty well. So yeah, hopefully that answers your question. Like I said, I got plenty more questions when it comes to business, so stay tuned for a few more. So let's get on to the next one. Like I said, we're not even taking breaks, no cuts. We're just going right into the next one. Joyce wants to know Avon Decor. And again, I'm posting the questions up here too, so you guys do see these came from YouTube as well. Avon Decor, items valuable at all? Are they valuable at all? Okay, this is gonna be a quick one. Yes and yeah, no, they're not valuable, but there is a market. People do collect them, but the prices you're not going to get any at all. They're hard to sell. They're hard to move. It was a large market back in the day. A lot of people were buying up Avon thinking it was going to be a collector's piece, and that's usually the stuff that turns out not be collectors. Hence, Precious Moments, Beanie Babies, the list goes on of many types of things that people thought were going to be really big, so they bought a lot of them. you know, Avon's just one of them. The Avon perfume bottles, they smell terrible. They just smell terrible. I can't stand opening and smelling them. But I will say I have a couple that comes in and they collect Avon. And for the longest time, they bought just every Avon piece that came into our store. But after about 2 years of doing that, they found out real quick that there is no market for Avon. Nobody buys it. I mean, it's just a tough market. So yes, I would say, I always say things have value, but things can have value of a nickel and it still have value. Would I recommend buying it and starting collecting it? Absolutely not. I think that's one thing I grossly stay away from is Avon, and that's actually one of the questions coming up is what do I stay away from? So stay tuned for that too. But yeah, sorry Joyce, Avon is a no-go. I mean, if you can pass it down to somebody and maybe they have some sentimental value to it, that's great. But if you're trying to make a fortune off Avon, it probably is not going to happen. So my bad. All right, on to the next one. All right, so this is actually a two-part question, so we're going to count this as 3 and 4. Do I see the trend continuing where brick and mortar stores go away, and how do I compete in an online world? This is going to be a little bit of a long-winded answer. So I think, in my personal opinion, why brick and mortar stores go away is because they don't adapt. They're stuck in their old ways and they don't adapt to the new culture. So one thing I will say is if anybody's ever visited our shop, I will say you can always believe that we're always adapting to something new. When the new things are popular and the new things come out, not I say new, I mean just newer, older stuff, we adapt to that. I think a lot of the brick and mortar stores go away because they don't adapt. They think, you know, my stuff that I enjoy or the stuff that sold 20 years ago will sell for the next 20 years because of this fact, because of, you know, it sold, it will continue to sell, and that's just not true. So I think that's why a lot of the brick and mortar stores go away is because they don't adapt to what is coming up. So like our store, if you've been to it, is full of, you know, it's full of antiques. It has a lot of antique stuff, but it also has a lot of 60s, 70s, 80s, and it's starting to sprinkle into the 90s stuff as well. So don't think when you come to an antique store, it's all just old junk that nobody cares about. Everybody evolves. Our store will evolve forever. So I don't see me ever going away, you know, God willing. Just because we're always going to evolve. We always try to get on to the next thing before anybody else does, or with everybody else that is staying in business because of that. So how do we compete in the online world? I think we compete in the online world by just adapting an online presence. So an online presence through social media, we have a TikTok account, we have a Facebook account, we have an Instagram account. We don't use Instagram very much, but I probably should more, but I don't. But I started to use TikTok a little more. So that reaches the younger kids and let everybody know that antiques ain't so scary. Our Facebook account gets massive amounts of interactions. Amber runs that and she does an amazing job. I mean, if you guys ever are looking to buy stuff once a week, she posts just like hundreds of pictures on there. We sell and ship stuff all over the United States. So again, I think it just goes back to adapting and evolving your business. If you can adapt your business into the online world while also supplying a brick and mortar location, that's what the main point of this whole thing is. Because I think at the end of the day, as much as everybody's, oh, online's where, I still think people like touching stuff with their hands. People like seeing it. People like making sure this is exactly what I'm buying. There's no imperfections, there's no cracks. Everything looks exactly how I think. I think the meaning of touching it, I think is what's going to keep brick and mortar businesses that will evolve in business. So yeah, I don't think the brick and mortar stores go away. I think they go away because they don't evolve. I think the online presence is just an added on feature. It just gives us the opportunity to reach people worldwide. And I think that's what you have to embrace. If you don't embrace that and you just start going backwards on everything and thinking my way is the only way, that's just not the way. You're not going to last. I evolve, I adapt on everything. I'm not always right about everything. I try out a bunch of stuff and I figure out what's right. I figure out what works. I go with that and I leave behind the stuff that doesn't work. So yeah, I don't think brick and mortar stores will continue to go away. I think we will stay in business if you want to stay in business. And that's, I think, what a lot goes to it, is it will stay around if you want it to. So hopefully that answers your question. And let's get on to the next one. All right. Most generations of businesses are ended after one generation, as in the kids don't want to take over your business. So have we thought of a succession plan where we decide to, or when we decide to hang it up? Oh, buddy, this is always a fun one. If my kids ever watch this, they know we talk about it all the time. Like, hey, you guys should get into the business. It's, for them especially, a second generation that takes it over, I think is the easiest thing to do. The hardest part was starting it, going door to door, knocking on people's houses, letting them know we're in business. I mean, there were so many things that were so much harder when we first had to start. To take over a business, I always think is a lot easier. Now, will my kids take it over? I don't think so. Our oldest, no, for sure. Lily is really focused on tennis and college, and I think that's awesome. So I think that's the road she's going to take. I don't see her coming back to the antique business. Now, she might hear me, but Eliza, I could see doing it. Eliza has, she has a sentimental value. She likes to hold on to things. I think she appreciates antiques more, even though she's still young. I could see her maybe doing it, but if not, at the end of the day, we just want our kids to be happy. We don't need a succession plan. If at the end of the day, none of our kids and family members want to take over our business, that's fine. But here's a little secret, guys. Me and Amber have already talked. I don't think we'll ever retire. This business to us is pretty much a part of our life. We don't take breaks from it, really. I mean, if we go on vacation, you best believe we're going to hit up antique stores. If we're going to go somewhere, we best believe we're looking for estate sales. That's just the way we like to do things. We like to incorporate it into our life because it's such a fun part of our life. This has been the funnest time I've ever had doing anything, is just spending time with my family around antiques, and it's a business. We get to all spend time together. It's just a lot of fun. So I'll be honest with you, when I'm 80, 90 years old, I'm hoping to still be at the store once or twice a week. Just because I think a lot of times when people retire, they think they can do nothing. And usually when you stop moving, if you know what I mean. So we always want to keep moving. So when we do these antiques, auctions and sales and estate sales, I feel like it's something I'm going to do the rest of my life. Am I going to own the business the rest of my life? I don't know. I mean, maybe, our kids take it over, or maybe somebody else takes it over. But do I always feel like I'm going to be a part of the antique business? Yes, I do. So a succession plan? No, I don't like looking that far ahead. To me and Amber go day by day. We love doing what we do. We're going to continue to love doing what we do. And I think we're going to do it for a very long time at the same location that we've been doing it at. That's our home. That's our baby. And I think that's something that's going to stay with us for a very, very long time. So not really thought about a succession plan. Maybe the kids take it over. If not, maybe we sell it off to somebody else that's going to appreciate it and do more than what we were doing at that time, I guess. So hopefully that answers your question. All right. Then the last question, what items do I purposely avoid? Well, let's go back. We're going to give that one to Catherine. Catherine, appreciate the question out there. I purposely avoid Avon, as we talked about earlier. I purposely avoid Beanie Babies. I purposely avoid porcelain dolls. Dish sets is another one I purposely avoid. Again, guys, we're doing it just off the top of my head. This is just what I'm thinking of as I go. What do I avoid? I avoid jewelry. I look for gold and silver just because I'm an idiot, and I feel like some people may not know what's there, I guess, but most of the time people do. Other than that, I avoid costume jewelry and stuff like that. That's not my thing. What else do I avoid? Yeah, I guess that's about it. I think I'm sure there's plenty more items I purposely avoid, but I get phone calls a lot for dish sets, Avon, porcelain dolls. That's all the things I've already named. I get phone calls for them literally twice, 3 times a week. I'll let you guys in on a little thing. When I get phone calls, it's literally, do you guys buy antiques? Yeah, we do, just depending on what it is. 9 times out of 10, it's always included at some point. Dish sets, porcelain dolls, Avon, Mary Kay, yeah, that's usually in furniture. There's a lot of furniture, and it sucks because right now furniture is so low right now. So we don't buy a lot of furniture. For one, we don't have a lot of the room that we used to, and 2, we just don't have the market for it. So I can't buy $100 pieces of furniture hoping I'm going to get $250 out of it anymore. And a lot of times you have to buy it for $40-50 hoping to get $75 to $125. So it's just a different market. It takes up a lot of room. So I guess furniture I could include on there right now, but this list always evolves because you never know. Avon could come back, porcelain dolls could come back, furniture will come back. I think it's going to take time, but there's things that could come back. But as of right now, as the list evolves and changes all the time, those are probably the main things I avoid. Yeah, I'd say those are the main things I avoid. So hey guys, that's our Q&A today. I mean, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my Sunday down here in my basement. I mean, if I could, I could pop this around real quick. You guys will kind of see my my little thing down here area. I got plenty more, my old video game section out there and whatnot. Might play some games today. But it's just been nice. Been nice just to kind of relax. And I don't know if you guys ever get those days where it's just nice to kind of chill out and relax. And those are one of those days. So hey guys, appreciate you watching, of course. If you guys want to like, subscribe, comment, share, all that great stuff. Much appreciated, never expected, of course. And if you guys get some time, you want to come out and talk to me, feel free. Or in the comment section down below, ask more questions. I'm telling you guys, I don't even think about them. Just write them down. I come on here, I give you the answers. We are just off the cuff because I feel like that's the most authentic way to do this. So like I said, flood those comment section with questions. Once I get 5, I make a video. So keep them going. I'll keep answering. Hopefully that helped everybody out today. I appreciate all the questions. Appreciate everybody watching. If you want to come out and talk to me and ask me questions, or if you want to come out and just say hi, feel free to stop out and get your antique fix on M66. See you guys later.